already moved one rider up to third place in the general classification, but 1 against 1, this is going to be a difficult. Tactical, and if there was another kind of 2 or 3 riders had gone at that moment, then it could have been all to play for. And in fact, get in, it was 2 points to take. So Miko Maestri is leading this competition going into the last day, the King of the Mountains, by 1 point.
That's going to make an interesting battle tomorrow, because we have we've just got the 3 third category climbs tomorrow to come in the first half of the stage. After that point, by the way, tomorrow's stage I love in a way, Brian. We'll come on to it maybe later on, but all of the classification points come before we get onto the finishing circuit. The finishing circuit tomorrow, that starts with 36k to go, is just purely about the race. There are no there's no sprint points, there's no mountains or anything. We get them all out of the way before we even get to the finishing circuit, and then we just unleash various beasts on that finishing circuit too. So tomorrow's stage will be cracking, quite unlike today's, which is an epic Queen stage really, in the way that it's been set out. And Alexander Delettre, as we've said, looking like he's got a real fire lit beneath him and the whole of that team this week to really prove themselves. And they're always active anyway. They're definitely not a team, and I could maybe think of 1 or 2 other teams even ranked higher above them that sometimes roll through races like this. We don't see too much of them. We always see the Saint Michel boys, but it's like this week they seem to be even more motivated. So good luck to them. Let's see how they get on. That is notable though, Brian, if we're talking about fast finishes in here, that Zingle is there and Sparagli as well. That could be quite a tasty finish. There's Sparagli, Bergedo, and that looks like Venturini. Clement Venturini sitting second from the back, just ahead of Alexis Guérin as well. So another fast finisher, Venturini, who's up there. Started the day in 11th place on general classification. Plenty of firepower in that group for a sprint, should it come down to a sprint, because right now Delettre resets his head unit and his power meter readings to go again. This is still part of that plateau over the top. They've not actually started the faster bit of the descent back down to river level to rejoin the Dordogne and go back over the bridge as well. But we're done with the climbing now. It is all downhill or flat from now on. There are 3 Caja Rural riders in here, 2. We know that Josipa Lopez is one of them, Jefferson Cepeda, and I think the other one is Edward Prades, and he is also pretty quick in a sprint finish as well. So this is not just a little clique of climby types, there's some real fast finishers in here who could make the most of this run-in back down into Argentat, where they've been through once already today.
There's 17 riders in this group, and now we're starting to see a reaction from Caja Rural. They sense the potential stage went up for grabs. Delettre was being held. Now we're seeing some more attacks, and this is what the dangers. Vendrame's already been riding hard on the front. And I think for me, Bodan doing a right job, just taking the pressure off. They cannot afford 3 or 4 riders to go down the road. Vendrame can't control it on his own. So you take the pressure off, but it's when it all comes back together, it's the attacks over the top.
And Delettre, all the while, is still looking pretty good out front, the Saint Michel man. I think the rider who's going across to him is Lopez, Joseba Lopez, the tall rider from Caja Rural, and it looks like he might be the one that closes down that gap the final time. Yes, it is. Delettre presumably will look to slot in. But once again there, Brian, we saw the yellow jersey himself closing it down. There he is, sitting second
good opportunity wheel. Now, just watch the white jersey.
Barret, yeah, you're absolutely right, well spotted. Cepeda goes with him too. In fact, Barret's set up. What's that about? Yeah,
Cepeda, this is a good move from Cepeda now. Where's Vendrame? Vendrame, is he still there? Has he been dropped? Is the yellow jersey having to do the work? He's looking back. Where's his teammates? Can't see him. What's happening? And into the radio, I need your help. This clearly is a big opportunity for other riders to join Cepeda at the front here, because the yellow jersey has been forced to do the leading on his own now and swings over. Dangerous times now for the lead of this race. I think it's Vendrame's coming up the right-hand side there, trying to come back to the front.
Just a bit. You say it's dangerous, just a bit. There's two more Caja riders in that group behind. It's almost perfect for Jefferson Cepeda, one of the strongest men in this race already. We know that. The Ecuadorian, he is going for it now. Head down. This is fully committed in the last 8K, because about 6K of it, 7K of it is downhill until they get to the bridge, cross the bridge, turn right into town, and there he'll be there already. There's one of his teammates. He's on the radio already. Look at that, just telling him to get on with it, I presume, as well. That's Joseba Lopez, we've already seen on attack himself. There's Vendrame coming up alongside Bodan. Bodan pushes him forward. Let's get on with it, mate. Louis Barret at the front.
but I was just thinking, what's Barry doing there? And I was thinking in my head, the only thing that was going to stop the Elettra before that is stage hunters. And the fact that Venturini is in here in the reds, that's the only reason for Barry. He was almost going on the attack there, wasn't he? Just before Cepeda went. Yeah. If he'd have gone with Cepeda, I think that could have been it. That could have been, you know, both of them away and moving up in the general classification and giving himself. But Barry's riding now, and you never know what's going through the heads of certain teams. But now that Barry's riding, he's riding for Venturini, but they have to look behind. It was probably better for Barry to be with Cepeda here rather than having to chase, because you have got another couple of fast finishers in this group behind.
Right, and we talk a lot about the French teams being out to get each other and trying to beat each other. Could that be one of those moments where actually two of those French teams, Decathlon and Arkea, might be joining forces to bring back the Caja man, the Spanish team rider? Maybe? There was a tap on the backside there, wasn't there, from Vendrame to Barret. Looked friendly to me. Could there be some kind of, like, let's work to bring him back together? Or is that too nice?
No, I don't understand why Barry stopped. Maybe he saw the yellow jersey was starting to react, and now we're starting to see, you know, stage hunters with Venturini here, and I don't think he is the fastest. I think Zengler is here. I think Sparagli is still in here. You know, there's another couple. You put a huge risk. I would rather have Venturini and Barry try and go on the attack rather than pull it down to a sprint. Sprints are always a risk. And of course you have to ride hard, sacrifice to bring Cepeda back, and he's not easy to be brought back. 11 seconds, 12 seconds, it's not enough, but at the end of the day, you know, it's a good effort here from him. But I just do think that, you know, there's a couple of tactical mistakes from some of these riders now.
Let's remind ourselves, this is the man that we saw yesterday on his knees in about 30 metres to go from the line in a puddle yesterday in the hammering rain. He managed to touch a wheel, come off. It was Cepeda, wasn't it, Brian? I'm not imagining that. It was Cepeda, wasn't it? He was literally down on his knees in a puddle. And here he is today, almost exactly a day later, leading the stage at the moment with, we ain't being told, 14 seconds. If they mess around right there, he is riding away with this.
I don't think he's going to ride away from it, but he's going to possibly ride into it, because it's a long, fast descent in here. But there's a few riders in here who'll be thinking of the stage win, but unfortunately Vendrame, he's already done a lot of work. I think Barry's now decided that he's not going to ride, so I think for Arkea, B&B Hotels, I think they've made a major mistake here. Why did Barry not continue with that effort there, and why did he come up and start to ride and then backed off? Now that Vendrame is here, Vendrame realises that you know, Cepeda, he needs 39 seconds, which take off the 10 seconds, 29 seconds. That's what he has to maintain, and I think come is the time of the yellow jersey. If Vendrame and the yellow jersey ride to the finish now, they can hold Cepeda back. I don't think he's going to get those kind of 29 seconds required. But unfortunately for some riders in this group, they don't have a member to help them. Look at the Cofidis rider there, the red and the white towards the black back. That's Zangler. He's super quick, but he doesn't have a teammate to bring Cepeda back. So it's looking good for Cepeda to try and kind of hold on to the stage win. I don't think he'll get the time required, but it's going to be a nail-biter all the way into the finish, and they're going to have to ride hard so that he doesn't get this time back.
Well, at the moment he's got 12 seconds. He started the day 39 seconds down on the race lead. He'd get the 10-second bonus if he won, so let's call it 20,
needs a nice 29.
Yeah.
And I don't think he's got, and unless they stall, which I can't see it, even if the yellow jersey rolls through, Vendrame rolls through, he's not going to get 29 seconds. But is there anybody in here interested in the stage one? Because that still is potentially up for grabs. If Arkea started to ride now, stop riding, you know, what are they thinking about? Because Venturini is here, he's got an opportunity, but I just think that a few kilometres back it was better to try and attack and go on to the into a kind of chasing group or a group off the front rather than, you know, ride on the front, which I think was a big mistake from them.
Well, there's the bridge. Sorry, that's the first bridge. They're going left there. It's the second bridge along. They cross back over the river, over the Dordogne, and then turn right to go back into the town. 2.5k left to go. You're right. You would think right now, if you were in charge at Arkea B&B, you'd want to get Louis Barret on the front, working for Vendrame, because Vendrame is definitely one of the fastest finishers there. But if they do bring it back, then Zingle, the way he's been sprinting these last 2 days, is a severe threat for a sprint finish.
The stage
This is looking good. Yeah.
I think Cepeda's got the stage here. There's been a few tactical errors from the teams behind. You can see San Michel started to ride. This is all that the yellow jersey can do. He has to bury himself, try and make sure that Cepeda does not get 29 seconds. I don't think he will. But the others have messed up in this and not been able to go for the stage one. But the other thing is here why San Michel were riding at the front. They'd already moved up to third place in the general classification. Well, Cepeda's moving above them.
Cepeda looking really good at the moment, and still doesn't look like it's really backed off behind, but he is flying. Let's look up the road and see where he is. There he is, just going under the little bridge there. The pace is definitely on in that chasing group.
Yes, the yellow jersey. The yellow jersey's got, what, 3 minutes? Less than that. You know, 2.5 minutes to just absolutely bury himself. This is kind of slightly uphill, and that's all Cepeda's doing, just absolutely burying himself. So it's holding for the moment. He needs another 12 seconds or 13 seconds to take the overall lead, and this is what he's trying at the moment. I don't think for one moment Bodan is going to get any bonuses behind. Definitely got the stage. I don't think he's going to get enough time back in the general classification. Definitely moves above Del Bove, who moved himself into third place in the general classification, and that's why San Michel were starting to ride on the front.
Alfonso Braz just tried to go hard down the left-hand side, and unfortunately, by the looks of it, it is Andrea Vendrame who's back on the front, working for his team leader, of course, in the yellow jersey. Goes again, and Bergadeau, why not? Bergadou's going to go, and now Louis Barret goes with him in that white jersey. So Arkea going with Total Energies. Bergadou's going to see if he can hang on to third place. And look at that, the yellow jersey himself closing up on Barret as well. It really is coming down to the bare-knuckle fist fight we expected on this Queen stage as well. Alex Bodan now deciding, well, I'm not going to save anymore, I'm going to go for this. The camera leaves the course, and that is going to lead the Ecuadorian Jefferson Cepeda to take, by the looks of it, his 6th professional victory. And it'll be the 2nd win for Caja Rural in this week of racing, which is going to be absolutely brilliant for them, for the boys in green and white. The Spanish team have stolen this from under the noses of the French as well. Jefferson Cepeda takes his 6th professional victory, pays a salute as he crosses the line, and here's the sprint from behind too. It's a Caja Rural 1-2. Look at that, they're having a great week in this race, Brian, aren't they? Absolutely brilliant. It is... Wow, where did he come from? Where was he in there?
I thought that's what I was trying to... I thought he might have been in there, but